Hello again, everybody! Zack Attack is here with my WWE SummerSlam review for tonight, Sunday, August 18th, 2013. Of course, live from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Now, my overall thoughts on tonight's review, despite a couple little things, especially if you see the title of this video, SummerSlam was a pretty good pay-per-view tonight. I was very entertained. The three main matches, the two main title matches, and the third non-title match, the third biggest match on the card. The three main matches carried the pay-per-view because all three main matches were pretty exciting. The undercard, most of it was hit and miss. You know, the undercard should have been better, but just because of the strength of the three main matches delivering great results, pay-per-view was pretty entertaining. Because, like I said, the three matches, the strength of those matches, I rate this pay-per-view a 7.5 out of 10. My highest rating for pay-per-view in quite a while. Like I said, even with the little clubs, especially with the main event, and I'm warning everybody now in this video, there's going to be a lot of ranting during the main event, my thoughts on the main event. Like I said, the video title says it all about my thoughts on the main event. And like I said, a lot of ranting, a lot of swearing, a lot of anger in my thoughts on the main event. So I'm warning you now, preparing you for the way I'm going to deliver during the main event. The three main card matches were good, and of course the pre-game match was pretty good too, from what I saw of it. I've been seeing the pay-per-view for free via internet link at my friend's house the last couple pay-per-views. So I've been missing the pre-game matches for a while, but I got to catch a little bit of tonight's pre-game, which was the United States Championship match between Rob Van Dam against Dean Ambrose. Now, two significant things on this pre-game. Number one, it was the second pre-game in a row that the Shield's been in. You know, Rollins and Reigns defending the tag titles against the Shield, defending against the Usos last month in the pre-game. And once again, the Shield title match was in the pre-game. In the second year in a row, the SummerSlam pre-game was the U.S. title match, with Ambrose being in the pre-game against Rob Van Dam. And from what I saw the pre-game match, from what I saw, I missed a little bit of it, but from what I saw the pre-game match, it was pretty good. Dean Ambrose with his sly, sneaky style delivered decent wrestling moves on Rob Van Dam from what I saw. And of course, RVD delivering his high-flying moves like usual. You know, the Rolling Thunder, the Monkey Flip, and all that. And we should have known this was going to happen, that the other members of the Shield, Rollins and Reigns, would get involved. And then Big Show and Mark Henry came out to even the odds. Of course, I thought they were going to have a match tonight. Rollins and Reigns against Big Show and Mark Henry, but that match didn't happen tonight. I'm predicting it'll probably happen at Champions. So, like, Henry and Big Show came out to help out and be in the corner of RVD if any interference would happen, and to prevent any interference, but it kind of did happen. Interference did. RVD was, like I said, on a roll for the later half of the matchup after a quick little fury by Ambrose, which led to the 5-star frog splash at the numerous attempts. RVD nailed it, but as he was about to pin Ambrose, Roman Reigns came in, speared RVD, causing the disqualification and helping Ambrose run out with the title. And then Henry and Big Show came in, trying to team up on the Shield, but they ran off. So I predict three things. I predicted that Mark Henry and Big Show will get the title match against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. I also predict on Raw tonight tomorrow night they're gonna have this review is coming on Monday now. So on Raw tonight they're gonna have Mark Henry, RVD, and Big Show in a 6-man against the Shield. And also predicted RVD were going to rematch at Night of Champions as well against Ambrose for the U.S. title. Because like I said, Night of Champions is coming up and it's when all the titles on the line. So there you go. 2.5 out of 5. I know a lot of people may be rating this match a little higher. But I only saw like a little bit of the match. From what I saw, it was pretty exciting, decent matchup to open up the pregame. Now on with the main card, which kicked off with JoJo from that shitty Total Diva show singing the national anthem, which was kind of insulting because Lilian Garcia usually does it, and I think is a better singer than JoJo was. I know JoJo didn't forget any of the words, but still, After that, we had The Miz come out, being the host for SummerSlam, or in WWE's words, Miz, we just got nothing for you. We got the hosting job for you. We got nothing. We can't fit you in. We got to put you as the host. So Miz was hosting, and he had a couple of host segments, which is kind of stupid, especially because every time they had a Miz hosting segment, it would always be interrupted by one person. Fandango! There it is. And the LA crowd was pretty good tonight, and they did the Fandango pretty well. So Fandango interrupted every time on Miz. They could start a feud because of this. And it was another, during one segment that Miz was interrupted, Miz was talking to Maria Menounos, who was like a part-time wrestler, full-time extra reporter. You know, because we see Maria Menounos wrestle a little bit off and on, and they were like doing an interview. Miz was doing an interview with Maria because he wrestled during Access, the festival, over the weekend at the downtown LA area. And then that's when Fandango interrupted again, should I say, and had a little mini dance on with him, danced with Summer Rae, and then Maria danced with Miz. Made sense because Maria was a Dance with the Stars champion, or runner-up, or finalist, or whatever. I think Maria was in Dance with the Stars. I think she won. I gotta double check that because I haven't watched dancing in a couple seasons because of the bullshit results. Well, we should stop watching this because of the bullshit results, but still, it's like a drug. You know, wrestling's like a drug. You know, I've been raised on wrestling all my life, so hey, I live with it. Especially with the main event tonight. Now on with the main card action, which began with the Ring of Fire match between Kane and Bray Wyatt. And this match was not good for two reasons. One is because you can light anybody on fire, you know, because there's DVPG, WWE, not the Attitude Era, WWF, where we all know and love. It would like to see come back, but every time we want it back, it will never happen. Because they didn't like I said, the only way you can win the match was by pinfall submission. The option wasn't to light anybody on fire. This is why they call it Ring of Fire. And there's a couple of calls called, but they didn't happen. The other reason why the match kind of sucked is because the only time the Inferno match / Ring of Fire really worked was the first time when Undertaker faced Kane for it in Unforgiven 1998 after WrestleMania 14. That was the only time it really was good. It was just slow going, you know. It was just since they weren't allowed to light anybody on fire, the match was just sucking. You know, a lot of lack of action. And this is Bray Wyatt's first match as a singles competitor since switching gimmicks from being Husky Harris to being Bray Wyatt. And it was just like slow going, lackluster action, especially since the majority of the match, the focus of the match was Warren and Harper trying to interfere because there was no DQ, but the Fire was there to separate from interference happening, was there to block any interference. And they tried everything to try to interfere or get in the ring. Like they tried to get a candlestick in there, try to light it on fire, but it would prevent it by the fires blowing up. And they even tried to extinguish the fire, but it didn't work. And then, like I said, Kane was trying to deliver the big moves of Bray Wyatt. He didn't get the choke slam at one point. He was probably going to set up for the tombstone, which led to Bray's followers, Warman and Harper, to finally find a way to get in. They put like a little floor mat or blanket over the fire, climbed in the ring, attacked Kane, double teamed him, which led to Bray Wyatt nailing his STO finisher, you know, the kiss on the head of Kane, delivering it in a 1-2-3 victory for Bray Wyatt. And then after the match, there was a post-match beatdown, which led many fans to chant during and after the matchup, Undertaker. The original plan I heard was they were going to have Taker team up with Kane against the Shield, because of what happened back in April when Taker came in to help Kane and D-Bryan when there was still Team Hell No. But then Taker got injured, so the match never happened. So it's kind of where they were chanting Taker's name. The fans were. And never happened. But after the match, they beat up Kane some more, and they did like another steel steps type move on Kane. They did like a guillotine move on Kane. They put Kane's head on the bottom half of the steel steps. They nailed him with the top half of the steel steps, like I said, like a guillotine, like you know, kind of like that, like smashing Kane's head. And it was just a vicious hit after the matchup. So then after the matchup, lights went out, which made people like, oh, Undertaker's gonna come out, but never happened. Like they had the lights go out because it's the way Bryans enter and leave. Like Bray lit up the lantern again and carried Kane out with the followers. Could be like kidnapping Kane or holding him hostage and making him indeed follow the buzzards. 1.5 out of 5. It was probably the worst match of the night, even worse than the Divas match, just because there was like lack of action, just lack of excitement. Just two guys pushing each other around. You just not exciting at all. Not a lot of action in the matchup, and a bad way to kick off the pay-per-view. So, but they hadn't put it in there somehow. So there you go. There you go. In my opinion, it was just uneventful. It was kind of slow going. Not a lot going on, despite the inferno match. And especially, like I said, you couldn't light anybody on fire. That was one reason why it sucked. So there you go. Now, on with our next matchup, which was a breath of fresh air, especially after the first matchup. DAMIAN SANDOW, of course, the Money in the Bank winner of the SmackDown briefcase, the World Title briefcase, taking on CODY Rhodes in their grudge match. The best friends colliding. And this match was great, but it was pretty decent, especially after the first match being so uneventful. But the only thing I would have done to make this match really more exciting and really more personal is that they put the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line in this matchup. I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't. They didn't put the briefcase on the line. But despite that, it was still a decent matchup. It would have been more exciting if they did. But anyway, of course, SANDOW came in, fired up, screwing CODY of the Money in the Bank briefcase in the match. And of course, living all of his big, self-righteous moves, of course, leading up to the doing the elbow to stain. I can't pronounce the French interpretation of that move, but still, despite his little flashy moves, CODY Rhodes, who was clean shaven tonight, first I've seen him clean shaven since his dashing days. That means he shaved off his mustache. So that means the CODY's mustache t-shirts are gonna be collector's items now. I think now he's a good guy now. He doesn't want to get any bad guy chance. That's why I think he shaved the mustache. But I think people are still gonna chant it no matter what he does. Even if he shaved it off. I think I didn't hear any chants of that tonight, but I bet you people may still chant it even though he shaved it off. Anyway, CODY Rhodes, many attempts at his big move. It took him, I think, like 2 or 3 attempts at the beautiful disaster kick to finally connect it on SANDOW. And it took him a few times for crossroads as well in the matchup. And it was pretty decent for what it was. Pretty good action between these guys. It was a pretty good matchup. With that, the ending, of course, was CODY delivering the crossroads, like I mentioned, after numerous attempts. And a 1-2-3 victory for CODY Rhodes, despite DAMIAN SANDOW dissing CODY Rhodes, saying that he's the Robin to his Batman, or in WWE Tag Team terms, he's the Marty Jannetty to SANDOW's Shawn Michaels. But CODY thinks it's the other way around. He's the Shawn Michaels, and SANDOW's his Marty Jannetty. Off the Crossroads team. Rhodes Scholars team. So there you go. SANDOW got beat by CODY Rhodes, getting a little bit of revenge on SANDOW. Pinning him 2.5 out of 5 for this matchup. Being a breath of fresh air, especially after the first matchup. And I think he kind of purposely put the SANDOW match before the World Title match to prevent a DAMIAN SANDOW cash-in, which never happened. Which leads to the next match, which was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Christian taking out Alberto Del Rio. Now, is it just me, or is it going to look like Christian's going to retire? They had like a little highlight reel of Christian's career on Raw last week, and he held it before the matchup again tonight. And he also shows us has one more match. It could be his last match. I haven't heard anything about Christian retiring. Maybe he's keeping it a secret. Maybe he'll say something about it on Raw tonight. But still, Christian came in now. Like I said, I was watching this pay-per-view at a friend's house, watching it on a free internet stream. And during I saw introductions for Christian and Del Rio, especially with Lillian Garcia being forced by Del Rio to introduce them in Spanish. But then after that, the feed went off. My friend did something with the internet. He kind of checked something that he shouldn't have checked. And the internet kind of messed up a little bit, but we got it going. I think I missed like the first maybe 5 minutes of the matchup. Maybe they were warming up each other up in those first 5 minutes that I missed. But despite missing those 5 minutes, from what I saw of the match, after missing the initial first 5 minutes or so, from what I saw, it was a good matchup. It was a Alberto Del Rio's best match in a while, because Christian is one of those guys. there's 3 guys that can perform well against anybody. Doesn't matter who they're up against. They can have a good match with pretty much anybody. Those 3 guys are Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and Christian. Especially those last 2 names I just said, Christian and CM Punk, proved my point about them delivering good matches with just anybody tonight. Especially Punk, but Christian too. Because Christian's matches with Randy Orton was pretty good 2 years ago. And his match against the Wwe was pretty good. From what I saw, was just the last 5 or 10 minutes was just pretty back and forth. A lot of fast-paced action. A lot of great spots in this matchup. Very good action with Del Rio blocking. I think Christian was going for the top rope for something. And Christian got the backstabber from the top rope by Alberto, countering the Christian top rope move. That was kind of a decent spot there. It was just, near fall, the near fall, count at the counter. Like the Christian, I think he tried to counter the cross-arm breaker, I think, but he tried to after a numerous attempt. But anyway, of course, Alberto was, of course, focusing on the arm, especially Christian injured his arm, and like Alberto was weakening the arm, making it weak for of course, the big move, the cross-arm breaker. Of course, Christian kept fighting back, delivering all of his big moves, a spear after numerous attempts, kill switch after numerous attempts, and Christian just gave it to Mr. Del Rio. And Del Rio just kept on giving the punishment to Christian, and no matter what he did, he just wouldn't kick out. Despite all the damage that he did to Christian, Christian would not give up easily. He would never give in and throw the towel in. Christian kept fighting back. He gave the fight to Del Rio tonight. I applaud Christian's performance tonight. And then, of course, after delivering the kill switch, and attempting a spear, and getting a spear in, and attempting another spear, Alberto lifted up his knee pad. He lifted up his knee pad and kicked the hell out of Christian with the exposed knee, weakening him to hook on the cross-arm breaker. Despite Christian's every attempt to exert every ounce of energy left in his body to get out of the hold or get to the ropes, Christian had no other choice but to tap out. So Alberto Del Rio retained the World Heavyweight Championship tonight. I thought that Conor Rodriguez was going to come out and screw Del Rio after Alberto turned on him a few weeks ago, but that didn't happen. I thought it was going to happen either during the matchup or after the matchup, especially after Del Rio delivered a speech about being a Latino role model. I thought maybe Mysterio may come out to interfere about I'm the Latino role model, but we never know if Mysterio will ever come back. But anyway, it makes sense that Del Rio delivered this type of promo because he was in California tonight, and California has a big Latino population, and a lot of Latinos were cheering him. There's a lot of people cheering Del Rio tonight. Like I said, Latino population. So anyway, Del Rio won the match, 3.0 out of 5. Second, probably the third best match of the night. Like I said, 3 main matches were pretty good. So there you go. Christian best effort. I don't know if he's retiring or not. May find out more on Raw. Now, on with another matchup. This is another big slow dud in the undercard. Proving my point about the undercard being a little weak tonight, despite the great 3 main fights. It was a Divas match. First of 2 Divas matches where we had a mixed tag, where we had a singles match involving Brie Bella, along with Anna O'Connor and ringside Nikki Bella, and the new diva from Total Divas, Eva Marie, taking on Natalya with the Funkadactyls in her corner. And I've been saying this for weeks about my WWE TNA reviews, but not guys being better than WWE divas because they're allowed to wrestle. And I've been feeling bad for Natalya being put on the back burner, not being pushed because they want to focus more on little no talentless bitches like the Beltrons, which finally led me to what I think are the perfect philosophies for WWE and TNA when it comes to how WWE and TNA perfect or try to their philosophies for the Divas division and Knockouts divisions. TNA has female wrestlers who look like models. WWE has models who are trained to wrestle. Once again, prove my point that WWE focuses on looks than brawn. Even with Natalya winning tonight. I was happy Natalya won though. I've been talking about Natalya, about WWE demoting her, not letting her wrestle, and getting another shot at the Divas Championship, which will probably never happen, especially if those egomaniacs, the Beltrons, keep controlling the Divas division, about having them be the main stars and not having anybody else above them. kind of like John Cena, despite the main event tonight. Anyway, Natalya got the sharpshooter on, got the match, but besides that, highlight, it was the only highlight of a low light match, which is another typical boring ass Divas match. And the crowd did the exact same thing they did on the wall after WrestleMania in New Jersey during the Randy Orton Sheamus match. The crowd knew the match was boring between Orton and Sheamus, so they had they had like random chants of random names, like they were chanting like JBL, Jerry, Michael Cole, Mikey Yoda, Justin Roberts, Randy Savage, we want one, all those random ass chants. They did that during this match as well in Los Angeles because the match was just boring. I even like the We Want WYATT chant. I wish they would have chanted Chris Benoit at the end. Might have voted Benoit channel too. But anyway, Natalya got the win, 2.0 out of 5. The only reason I gave it 2.0 was because Natalya won. But even though Natalya won the battle, she may not win the war in the Divas division, which leads me to once again saying Natalya 3 letters. And those 3 letters are T and A. Go to TNA when your contract's expired, Natalya. TNA will then let you wrestle and give you an opportunity to be champion. Unlike WWE. So I think that's just my opinion about that situation. Now, on with the next match, which I doubt I was going to say this. Match of the night? Because I thought Daniel Bryan and CENA was going to be better, but I was dead ass wrong with this match being a little better. CM Punk against Brock Lesnar. Now, it's good they added a stipulation, because I've been saying on my Raw review last week that the match wasn't going to be exciting if it was a straight-on standard wrestling match. It needed to be a street fight or no DQ or no holds barred to make it more exciting, and it kind of did with the no DQ stipulation. Even with that, I was fearing that I love Punk to death, and I thought he had almost no chance, despite showing fight against Lesnar a few weeks ago on Raw. I thought it was going to be boring like Triple H's matches with Brock Lesnar last year at SummerSlam, and at this year's WrestleMania, and at Extreme Rules. All his matches against Triple H were fucking boring and lackluster and non-eventful. Especially, the matches served no purpose. You know, the feud was no purpose. It was stupid. And it kind of looked like another boring match, especially the way the match started, with Brock Lesnar basically beating up on CM Punk, doing a more like a vicious beatdown like he did to Frank Mir. But then Punk started to fight back, and and like I said, the match was pretty good. You know, for being my fears, and it was actually pretty exciting, pretty good fight. It was a fight. There were 2 little things that bugged me a little bit about this match. Despite being no DQ, number 1, they didn't break a table. They did go to the tables at one point. Punk got rammed into the Spanish announce table at one point, and then ran against the regular announce table, and then having Lesnar taking the SummerSlam sign on top of the main announce table, and having that big SummerSlam sign on top of Punk, and stomping him on top of it. Despite that, they didn't break any tables. I thought they were going to use a table, which leads me to my second little quib. They did not use a lot of weapons. They only used the chair and the steel steps and the pulse. They should use more weapons in this matchup. BTVPG and all. Now, they did not let Kane or Bray Wyatt light each other on fire during the Inferno match, yet you let CM Punk bite Brock Lesnar's ear. A la Mike Tyson, you know, he bite Lesnar's ear during the matchup, trying to play dirty, but there was no skin coming off like Tyson did to Holyfield. And while Punk was kind of copying or whipping off, shooting whatever analogy you want to, whatever opinion you have on it, Mike Tyson, Brock Lesnar gonna pay tribute or homage or parody to Eddie Guerrero by doing the 3 amigo suplexes. Makes kind of sense that Lesnar would do some sort of tribute to Eddie, because Eddie Guerrero was the one that beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at No Way Out 2004. So, and Lesnar, despite being, you know, the Beast, it was, of course, the Beast versus the Best, and Brock Lesnar was delivering the pain to Punk, but Punk delivered as much pain as he got. And like I said, during the Christian Del Rio match, Punk is one of those guys like Christian and Jericho and Daniel Bryan that can work well with anybody. They can have a good match with pretty much anybody, and it's proved in tonight with Punk delivering a great match against Lesnar, despite Lesnar delivering all sorts of punishment to Punk. Punk had Lesnar wheeling a few times. He really fought the fight to Lesnar. He really fought his best against Lesnar. He never quit. He never say die. He never say die attitude like Christian did during the Del Rio match. You know, he delivered all the big moves, the big knees, the flying knees. Yeah, I think it took like 2 or 3 flying knees to take him down, especially since the match was very long, about 25, 30 minutes. And another great spot during the matchup was a little exchange they had when Lesnar had the Kimura lock on Punk, and Punk kind of turned into a triangle lock, you know, like a armbar move, it was like a UFC match. You the switch of submissions, kind of a cool little exchange there. And despite Punk's best efforts to take down Lesnar, really having there was a couple times that Lesnar was rocked, and Punk did have the victory, especially delivering numerous GTSs and big knees, like I mentioned. There was one thing that led to, unfortunately, Punk's downfall. Punk's obsession with beating up and getting his hands all over Paul Heyman the Walrus. Every time Punk had a little opportunity to get his hands on Heyman, Punk would get attacked by Brock Lesnar from behind. Shouldn't have guessed that. And, low blows came in. Don't hear anything else. I'm surprised and happy at the same time that because his accident didn't come out. I thought he was going to come out, but he never did. Punk came to fight the Lesnar, and Punk numerous attempts at GTS, and it was one attempt at GTS that kind of led to the downfall. Before that, Lesnar did many F5s to CM Punk, and there was one attempt at the F5 when Punk was on top of Lesnar, and he grabbed Heyman's tie from the apron. It was kind of a funny little spot, and trying to block the hold by grabbing a hold of Paul Heyman's tie. That was kind of a funny little spot there. But after a lot of GTS, especially one GTS that had Lesnar wheeling, and a 1, 2, 3 pin attempt, Heyman blocked the count. And of course, it gave Punk the best opportunity to get his hands on Heyman, and Heyman's face was just fucking priceless. But Punk finally had his chance to finally get the opportunity to get his hands on Heyman. He punched Heyman, but then as he was finally getting a little bit of revenge, his obsession led to Heyman's man Lesnar attacking Punk with the steel chair, leading to the F5 on the steel chair and a 1, 2, 3 victory for Brock Lesnar. So Punk's obsession with Heyman was a downfall. He was distracted with Heyman. He wanted to beat up Heyman. He wasn't focused on his opponent. That's what costed him. But it was a great match overall. Better than I thought it was going to be. Very, very brutal. And it proved that Punk not only did he deliver a great match with anybody, is that the two big pay-per-views, Mania and SummerSlam, Punk stole the show at both SummerSlam and Mania. With his match against Taker Mania and his match tonight at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. So, there you go. I had a big debate about rating this match, but I rated this match a 4.0. I didn't think I was going to rate it that high, but it was just a vicious fight. It was a brutal fight, great, intense fight between Lesnar and Punk. I thought it was going to be a little boring, but it ended up besting my expectations, despite Punk losing. And Punk, he didn't have nothing to be ashamed of. They said on the commentary, he had a performance of a lifetime almost. He gave as much as of himself like he did the Taker. So there you go. Punk loses a valiant effort against Brock Lesnar with a little help and distraction from Mr. Walrus, Paul Heyman. We saw a lot of backstage segments with The Miz, but I saw another segment involving Ryback, Goldberg, Ryback, being bully as usual. It led to our next match, which was the second Divas match of the night, which was a mixed tag match between Dolph Ziggler, teaming up with KAITLYN, against Big E and AJ, the crazy bitch. AJ. It'd be funny. I would love to see this. Since Victoria/Tara got released by TNA, I would love the WWE, despite my qualms about people from WWE going to TNA, it'd be kind of funny to see Victoria come back to WWE and fight AJ, crazy bitch, against crazy bitch. That'd be kind of funny to see that. If Victoria doesn't come back. If she even wants to come back. Especially seeing WWE treat people like shit like Natalya. Anyway, the Ultimate Soul matchup. Like Miz being the host of WrestleMania, being the host of SummerSlam tonight, this match for Dolph Ziggler was like, we have nothing. It was like WWE's equivalent of telling Dolph Ziggler, we got nothing for you, Dolph, just being this mixed tag. You were world champion, now you're in this match at SummerSlam. Stupid. So the match is like it's a typical slow matchup. Of course, Dolph mostly beat the crap out of Big E. And of course, KAITLYN, she almost distracted Ziggler again, almost causing the match again, like she did on Raw last week. But that didn't help Ziggler lose. It helped him get stronger. Delivered a zigzag on Big E after the KAITLYN spear on Age on the outside, distracting Big E, and a 1-2-3 victory for KAITLYN and Dolph Ziggler. A 2.0 for that match. I thought this match was going to be the end of the feuds of AJ and KAITLYN and Big E and Dolph. Maybe the end of Dolph Ziggler and Big E, but I think AJ and KAITLYN's not over because I think they'll probably have a match at the Champions for the Divas Championship, along with the possible Mark Henry Big Show match against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins for the tag titles, and the U.S. title between Ambrose and RVD, and of course possible match for the WWE Championship, which came out of our main event tonight. So here we go, the main event of the evening for the WWE Championship, with Triple H as your special guest referee, John Cena defending against Daniel Bryan. Cena got his ass booted up the fucking building like he always does and always deserves. Now, like I said earlier, when I mentioned fucking last one, I thought that Cena and D-Bar was going to be matching tonight. But it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But it was still as good as a match as I thought it was going to be, especially since D-Bar carried the match. Because, of course, he said it best. He is a wrestler. Cena's an entertainer. But Cena did try to be a wrestler tonight, despite all the fans chanting, booing his ass and chanting, "You can't wrestle." Cena did try to wrestle a little bit. He tried to suplex. Like, there's many times Cena does try to wrestle. Like that one match they had with Punk on Raw back in February with Cena's title match at Mania on the line against The Rock. And Cena tried to hook Hurricane and that power driver. And besides trying, I think he did like a suplex. Cena even did a vicious clothesline. And there was one little spot, like I said, that Punk kind of copied Mike Tyson tonight with the Biting of the Year of LESNAR. LESNAR kind of paid homage or copied Eddie Guerrero with the Three Amigos. John Cena kind of copied AJ Styles by doing the Styles Clash, looked like the Styles Clash off the middle rope, because Cena was going for FU off the top rope, off the middle rope, the D-Bar, but D-Bar counted it, which led to Cena blocking a Hurricane attempt by D-Bar, which led to the attempted what looked like a Styles Clash. I think Layla did Eve did a Styles Clash, or someone did a Styles Clash type move. Oh, that was Michelle McCool that kind of did a Styles Clash type move in the female division, but never seen a man do like a Styles Clash like we do, like Cena did. Despite Cena being his egomaniacal, must beat everybody and must win self, and with an elbow injury, D-Bar, of course, came flying back, literally flying. Did his all big flying moves. The first exchange, like the first 5 minutes of exchange, they were switching wrestling holds. That was kind of like going like a little, flips, and it was like a cool little exchange the first 5 minutes, and then of course it got really intense in the last 5-10 minutes. Like numerous attempts at the FU and STFU, 5 moves of doom. He even took Cena 2 attempts at the "You Can't See Me" the final go show, because D-Bar blocked the first attempt with a kick, thank God. But Cena got it the second time. And I didn't notice it till later, but D-Bar attempted the STFU on Cena before he got to the S-Leg again. So it was almost like almost Super Cena-like, but Cena, kept hanging on. But of course, D-Bar gave the fight to Cena with, of course, the big nasty kicks and a couple of the cool little spots with D-Bar and Cena exchanging punches. Usually the spot when they're like, boo, yay, bros, yes, no, yes, no. And it was one of those funny moments with like a slapping contest stemming from a comment that Daniel Bryan made on Miz TV last week during that vicious, engaging promo, that Daniel Bryan said, "Cena, there's a tradition that we do in Japan where you slap your opponent for encouragement and to motivate him. You don't deserve a slap." Cena did slap D-Bar that night, and D-Bar didn't retire, but tonight he did retire. He had a little slapping contest. Looked like little old lady slapping, though. Kind of a little funny move with the slap contest. And then the ending of the match was out of nowhere ending. And Triple H, like I said, was a good referee during the match, but after the match, different story, as we all know. So, D-Bry, they were all the big kicks, the big splashes and stuff. And he did do the kicks again at one point. Then he gave Cena a flying knee to the head, which led to 1, 2. I thought Cena was going to kick out. 3. And he was out of nowhere. So there you go. Daniel Bryan became the new WWE champion, as I had hoped. But now here's when the ranting begins. So, your discussion advised by my rant. So, hold your breath and buckle your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy rant ride. So, you see by the title about what happened with Daniel Bryan in the championship tonight. Now, let's go 2 years ago. SummerSlam 2011. The last time Triple H was a special guest referee for a title match, a WWE title match at SummerSlam. It was John Cena against CM Punk. Punk won the match. He won the title. But then Kevin Nash came out, jackknife powerbombed CM Punk, which enabled Alberto Del Rio to cash in Money in the Bank on CM Punk. Well, that's kind of exactly almost what happened with Daniel Bryan. Now, I had a sneaky suspicion that the Money in the Bank cash in was going to happen again. But if he was cashed in on without the hoopla that he did after the matchup, I would have been happy. Not upset as I am, but they just fucked up his moment. They ruined D-Bry's moment because he was just so joyous. The crowd was happy. Celebrating with the yes, and the crowd was just so overjoyed, and the confetti fell, and it was D-Bry's moment to shine, and he finally won a WWE Championship. So happy, so joyous, until I hear voices in my head blare towards the speakers as video would come in for the possible cash-in. Then when Del Rio cashed in on Punk, Punk wasn't weakened yet. Until Punk was weakened by Kevin Nash. That's what happened this time with Daniel Bryan not being weakened when Orton was attempting to cash in. So Orton looked like he was just showing Bryan, hey, I'm looking for you. It kind of looked that way. It was like a teaser. And Orton was walking away slowly. But then Triple H, who, like I said, was a non-biased referee during the match, even raised D-Bry's hand. And my friends, I was watching the pay-per-view, my friends called D-Bry getting cashed in on. They also called weakening him by Triple H pedigreeing him, which is exactly what happened. Triple H pedigreed Bryan, and then Orton cashing in by the bank. 1, 2, 3 victory. Orton's the new world champion. Screwing Daniel Bryan. Ruining his moment. You know what I mean? Then Orton cashed in on D-Bry after D-Bry fought so hard, and he got the big push, and then we fucking ruined it by screwing him after the celebration. The fans were eating it up. I'm not surprised there's not a fucking riot going on right now in Los Angeles after that fucking screw job I'm finished. We had the Montreal Survivor Series screw job with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Tonight, we had the LA SummerSlam screw job. Now, but the storyline, it all makes almost kind of sense that Triple H would turn heel like that and screw D-Bry. Because for weeks, Vince McMahon and Triple H had this power struggle going on. Triple H was angry at Vince for demoting Daniel Bryan, think he's not good enough for champion. And even Vince said he didn't want D-Bry or Cena to win. And Triple H looked like he was mad with Vince, but it might have been a hoax. Could have been a ruse. They could have planned this all along to screw Daniel Bryan, thus causing the possible D-Bry McMahon feud, like I predicted a few weeks ago, to possibly happen. A rehash of Austin McMahon. And especially with maybe Orton was in on it too. Maybe Orton was involved in cashing in on Daniel Bryan and screwing D-Bry in the storyline. Especially with the mini evolution reunion we had with Triple H and Orton. Minus Flair and Batista, of course. So, I'm just so disappointed that they would fuck up Daniel Bryan. And, give him this big push and have him win the title. And have this big celebration or to be cashed in on by Randy Orton. Fucking screw job. I know it's storyline and stuff, but fuck you, Vince, for screwing Daniel Bryan. For ruining his moment. For taking his moment in the sun. This is like the equivalent of him losing the World Championship in 18 seconds against Sheamus at WrestleMania 28. Same fucking scenario. Screw job for D-Bry again. And I cannot wait for Raw. Because I want D-Bry to fucking shoot his ass off and really vent about getting screwed by Vince McMahon. Screwed by Triple H. And it's finally solidified Orton's heel turn finally. And the only good thing about this, D-Bry will get a rematch. Guaranteed he'll get a rematch at Night of Champions. Hopefully D-Bry can get fucking revenge. And beat Orton. Unless Triple H is referee again. So there you go. Despite those little qualms, 3.5 for CENA, Daniel Bryan. So there you go. Despite those little things that I said, my little qualms about the matches, still exciting, entertaining pay-per-view tonight, 7.5 for SummerSlam again. Thank you all very much for watching and enduring my rant I just did and surviving it. Thank you all very much for watching. You've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Have a great night, everybody. Yeah. SummerSlam Jam.